Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and a very wet walk this morning with the two dogs in Wentwood Forest, South Wales. So I've been averaging about 3 couple meetings per month, new wedding bookings. 26 is about done, so I'm mainly looking at 27. So I've got a list of questions that seem to crop up more than anything else. So here we go. Got them on my phone, so I'm just going to read them out. Have you photographed at our venue before? I travel all over the UK, so the chances are no. However, my collections do include a pre-wedding shoot, which allows us to get to your venue, have a walk around, get a feel of it, think about where we can take photos that you want, that work for your wedding, rather than just the bog standard stuff that others seem to do. Next question. What is my photography style? I don't define myself by saying I have a particular style. All the way through the wedding, I'm using different styles of photography. Sometimes it's candid, sometimes it's pose, sometimes it's editorial, sometimes it's product photography, sometimes it's architectural photography. Predominantly, I do shoot much more natural photos. I err away from posing couples overly. So pose for me is the two of you holding hands, cuddling, or in the Welsh call it cwtching. And this Englishman living in Wales is on a mission to educate the rest of the country on the word cwtch. It's a fantastic word. So I don't have that defined style, except to say it's natural. Can we see a full wedding gallery? Absolutely. All you need to do is just message me and I'll send you a few links over. You'll also be able to see real albums when we meet in person anyway. So you get an idea that I am who I say I am, and I've been doing this a while. Do you work alone or with a second photographer? I actively try and avoid getting second photographers. Couple of reasons for this. If your wedding is less than maybe 100 people, you really don't need a second photographer. I am more than capable of capturing photographs of everybody who was at the wedding. If you desperately want your partner's prep photographed, yes, we can do it, but do you need a second photographer all day? So I tend not to work with second photographers, and it's an extra cost. I do, however, occasionally bring people who want to shadow me, who want to learn photography, who want to come on a wedding, see how it works, see the process, and my coachees, and you'll get a copy of their images if they are any good. Let's have a look. What happens if I'm ill or unavailable on your wedding day? Like most wedding photographers, I would need to be dead before I didn't turn up. Broken bones, diarrhea, sickness. Oh, there was one, I was really ill towards the end of last year with bronchitis. And then got signed off by the doctor for basically 4 weeks over Christmas. Antibiotics, that kind of thing. However, all photographers are part of a network of colleagues, friends we can call on in an emergency. Certainly in the South Wales area, I've got some very, very close friends. I can do that. Up in Scotland, I've got a couple. Milton Keynes, North Yorkshire, absolutely. So we can cover. And where are we? How many hours of coverage are included? I don't do time frames at my weddings. I'll start when prep starts, so either groom prep, bridal prep, depending on the gender mix of the wedding. And I tend to leave about an hour or so after your last major event. So that could be your first dance, it could be fireworks, it could be a sparkler exit. It's entirely up to you, but I'm not on a time frame. I don't have set hours such as 6, 8, 10, 12 hours that the vast majority of photographers do. And I've never done time frames in just under the 20 years I've been doing this. Time frames get in the way of me enjoying my working day. And it's a very embarrassing conversation to have with a couple because things don't work at weddings the way that they should do. We know that. Time frames drop, slip. And if you've booked me for 10 hours, I'm going to come up to you and say, right, you've got 15 minutes to do your cake cutting, your first dance, your fireworks and your sparkler exit, otherwise I'm charging you 200 quid more. That's not a conversation you want to have on the day, so I don't do it. Next, how long will it take and how will we receive our wedding photographs? How long it takes, currently about 10 days. How will you receive them? Online gallery. I detest USBs, I absolutely hate them. Online galleries are so much easier, so much more convenient. We live in the 21st century. We have extended friends, we have extended family all over the world. A USB gallery, an online gallery is much easier to send out to people. So that's what I do. Maximum in my contract is 3 weeks delivery. I'm about 10 days or less. Do you have insurance? Is the Pope a Catholic? Does the bear shit in the woods? Of course I have insurance. Many venues currently are asking for proof of insurance. I can do that. Some venues demand more. Some venues are quite happy with my bog standard. That's absolutely fine. But yes, I've got insurance. What is your booking process and payment terms? I think I'll come back to that when I've cleaned the lens. Right, booking process. It's really quite strange, my acquisition channels, as it were, for getting couples contact details or people who get in touch with me. So I use a variety of channels. If you want to know more, that's potentially another video. But once I get an email or a contact in, first thing I want to do is send a very personalised reply to you. I want to set up a date, time to meet. It's very important for me that we meet, whether it's online or face-to-face. My preference is face-to-face. Online, because I'm driving all the way around the UK shooting UK-wide weddings, sometimes it's really hard for me to do that. And I've just sort of had a chat with one couple who are down in Southeast Coast, and this week I'm basically Norwich. Next week I'm in the Midlands, North Yorkshire, and then the Lake District. So that's sometimes quite hard for me to do. So once we've got that meeting set up, we chat. I am more bothered at that meeting that I get on with you. I'm not interested in trying to sell you stuff. I'm not interested in trying to sell you the biggest, most expensive wedding collection package I do. I'm not interested in forcing extras on you. I just want to know, do I like you enough to work with you for potentially 16 hours? Because that's the average kind of time in the height of summer that I may be on site with you. And I'll be really brutally honest, because I'm out of breath going uphill. I'll be really brutally honest here. If I do not like you, I will not take your money. I will not take your booking, and I will tell you that. And I will tell you that pretty much instantly. The booking, the meeting won't last long, because the environment that I work in, for me, has to be fun, has to be happy, and I need to enjoy it. If not, why do I want to work with you? So we agree, we're going to work together. Fab. It's a £300 booking fee. Everything is done via an invoicing system. I'll send you a contract out. Just let me swap hands. Contracts, by the way, do not need to be signed in the UK. Quirk of contract law. Once you've paid your booking fee, you've agreed to the terms and conditions anyway, and that's it. Some couples are very, I suppose to use the word demanding, but that's sort of the wrong word. Some couples like a lot of TLC, and I like that actually. I like being in touch with my couples. I like knowing what's going on with their wedding, what the shoes, the shirts, the suits are like, what the dress, the decor is like, all of that. Other couples, less so. So basically, that's the process. I think this is number 10. Can we give you a list of sort of must-have shots? Absolutely. But those must-have photos are essentially your family and friends groups, and I ask for them. I'm one of the few photographers that doesn't mind working with groups. In fact, I enjoy taking group photos. You don't have to have the photos in your wedding album, but you've got a record of who was at your wedding, because not everybody lives forever. Bit morbid, but truthful. So, tends to be 10 from each side of the family. So, 10 from one partner, 10 from the other, done. Because I'm not on a time frame, we can do loads of family groups, family portraits, Tinder profiles, dating profiles, whatever, throughout the day. I don't care. As long as I'm sort of doing the other stuff I need to do, we're all good in the hood. I don't want a list that says, take a photograph of the shoes, take a photograph of the rings, take a photograph of the room, because that's pretty bog standard. That's what I would do anyway. Whew. So, hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, drop them in the links, drop them in the comments section. Let's chat.